I think in life, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, these truths keep coming up.
Yeah.
Like if I avoid physical strain, then my body adapts to that. If I avoid emotional strain, if I avoid spiritual like effort, mental effort, then my body will adapt to that and I will become flabby.
Yeah.
But if I actually start to push back at it, then I grow. I become stronger.
Hi, I'm Caroline Howard, a biblical counselor and certified life breakthrough coach.
And I'm Chris Oneth, marriage and family therapist and executive director of Downey Park Counseling Associates.
Welcome to our next question, where we attempt to answer the questions of life through conversations in psychology and Christianity.
Remember, this is a place of discovery and definitely not the final answer. Okay, welcome back.
Yes.
Where have you been?
I'm like, I am back. Like, where did I come back from?
It's like, wait. Yeah. Okay. All kinds of stories just popped into my head.
Alternate universe, another planet.
There's many times in my life I've been somewhere else up in my melon.
Yeah.
And I once was listening to an audiobook that was so heady and so interesting, and I almost crashed into a car in my neighborhood. And the poor guy was headed, poor guy was in the oncoming lane. So now I was not going fast because I was listening so hard that I'm like, huh? And I'm kind of drifting. And then I came to and realized this poor guy's waiting for me. And it was just before, and the reason I was in his lane, because I was turning to turn into my driveway. So, but I don't know.
Do you still listen to audiobooks in your car?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I listen to all kinds of things, podcasts, audiobooks,
Yeah.
self-help seminars.
So are you telling people to like not listen to us too closely? Or
Well, I'm saying if it gets pretty heady, pull over. And maybe we should warn people. Before you listen to this next thing, before I say this next thing, please pull over.
That's funny.
Well, yeah, it was funny after the fact, but then I worried. Then I felt bad about the poor guy.
Well, yeah.
Because I got the big bumper and the thing, and he had a little Ford Ranger.
Hey, I'm changing our question for the day because it's now going to be that. What do you listen to, or what do you do in your car while you drive?
Let's see. There's sleeping, gymnastics,
stretching.
While you drive?
While you drive.
Some people urinate while they're
Never
driving.
mind. Go back to the original question.
Nope, I'm saving that one now. Okay, Chris answered the question. Caleb.
Wait a second.
No,
I want more.
No, you've had enough airtime.
Golly. Okay.
So I typically listen to podcasts. Lately, I've been listening to a trivia podcast, which
Nice.
is great because I'm getting ready for a trivia competition this weekend.
How does that work itself out?
Wait,
'Cause
you're
it just
doing
says,
a
here's
trivia.
an interesting factoid.
So it's like a competition. They have guests on, and they have hosts, different hosts every week that create questions, and then they have little fun bonus rounds and things.
Oh.
Yeah,
So let me ask you this, Caleb, in the way of trivia.
please do.
If right hand is Dexter, what is left hand?
Sinister.
Awkward.
I wish people could see the confused look on my face right now because I have no idea what's going on.
When I see
going on
left-handers,
here.
I will present that factoid. And then they're all like, they got to rush back to their families and let them hear the news.
Well, I guess the trivia
Okay.
is paying off then.
They're good for you.
So wait, what's this trivia competition that you're going to be in?
It's going to be a fundraiser for students who are going to Washington, D.C.
Oh, cool.
And so they do it every year, and it's just like a little fun thing to be
Okay.
a part of. Yep.
Do you,
Just raise some money.
do you do it every year?
This is only my second time doing it.
Did you win last time?
We got second place last time, but that's
Nice.
because my mom was on our team, and she was on Jeopardy back in the day.
Oh, my gosh.
And so
That's right.
she is a
Mom's the
genius.
secret weapon.
Oh, yeah. So this year, she's not going to be on my team, so we're definitely not going to do
no.
as well.
Oh, wow.
Okay, well, if
But I'll
there's
do my
any
best.
questions about certs, you know they are real.
Yes, I've learned so much
I feel
from
like
being on our next
Absolutely.
If you
Absolutely.
win this year, it's because of Chris
Absolutely.
and I and all of our
Your influence,
factoids.
yeah.
80s pop culture. Yes.
So true.
Oh,
Yes.
that's funny. That is funny.
So if quadrium were the four areas of
Dude, you're
study
putting all
in
of
the
our
ancient
listeners to
school,
sleep.
then what was the trivium?
Well, that would be... see, this is familiar. I mean, obviously, it would be three of something.
Yes. From whence we get the word trivia.
Indeed. That's all I can give you. I know I
don't know the answer. I just know
okay.
those two words, so, which is typical of my knowledge. It's
Wait, is
You
this-
know enough to sound, smart. Yeah.
maybe.
It's all a
Okay,
facade.
we got to
Caroline
jump
is
to Caroline
Okay.
and her.
I'm
driving.
podcast or music. Yeah, or a book or a book.
Yeah.
I don't usually do books, but since I'm trying to air quote read or listen to
No,
6
sure.
books this year,
No, sure.
I was like, I had started this book. I don't know, the last time I flew somewhere, and I'm like, I can
Yeah.
make that. I could finish that and make it a book this year.
Yeah.
But it all just depends. If I have kids in the car, it's music. If it's just me,
Yeah.
it's a podcast or a book.
And what types of music?
Oh my gosh, it's eclectic. We have
That's great.
We got Eminem, we got Michael Jackson, we got worship music, we got
Okay.
opera, we got show tunes.
Wow.
I mean, there's
That is eclectic.
we got some rap.
Any metal?
There's not really heavy metal. Nobody really likes
Sad.
heavy metal in between me and my kids. But my son gets in there. He knows when it's me. He plays like Christian rap.
Oh.
If it's his dad, it's not Christian rap.
Wow.
But he like redoes all my speaker settings, and like
Whoa.
the bass goes up, the treble goes down.
Whoa.
The
You mean, does he
subwoofers-
push a button and have it all done because he's pre-programmed it? Or is he
hasn't
just like...
no, he hasn't pre-programmed it yet. But he
Suddenly-
had to teach me.
Everyone around you is noticing as you go by.
Yes.
With the bass.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
He goes rocking
Do you
it.
want to know what's really funny? Is my computer
No.
just decided to update and now it's shutting down.
Whoopsie. That's
don't need
okay.
it.
I'll carry the show.
This is funny. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm the same
Yeah.
way with music. I listen to all kinds of music. I do enjoy. I have been more enjoying metal. When I was in high
like
school,
whiny guitar.
well, it depends. Again, I'm not listening to metal like in the evening. That's more like jazz, right? Something soft, something
Right.
on a nice fall day when the leaves are falling and the wind is blowing. I love classical music, chamber orchestra.
Okay.
When I'm up in the morning and wanting to, if I had a door that I could kick open and run out to, that's the metal phase, right? And there's certain songs, heavy metal songs that I absolutely love, and then one line will like destroy it for me. I'm like, this could be a worship song, and then one line, of course, is very like womanizing, or
They're like,
you're like, no. It's like that riff is so awesome, but then you come up with that thing, and it's like, okay.
I'm going to say you probably shouldn't listen to heavy metal music while you're driving.
That's what they say.
I don't think it, given that it makes you want to kick a door down.
right?
I don't think
Road
it's
That's
rage.
what they even say about
Road
like
rage.
touring on the motorcycle. Like you have to be careful some of the music you
Yeah.
listen to, because if it like amps you up and you are more willing to make foolish choices, we'll put it
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah, but if I get into worship music, like really, like I'm really into it, all of a sudden I look down and I'm totally speeding.
Oh.
And I'm like, do you think the cop would buy it that I just worshiping? I had one hand off the wheel and in the air.
So who's to
Jesus,
say
take the
metal
wheel.
isn't
Jesus, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah, no, that's enough.
Is that one? That one?
Yes.
Some of the music that I consider worship music would never be in church.
I'm sure that would go for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's like something that like speaks to deep things. In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel. I mean, gosh, it's one of the most worshipful songs I've ever heard.
Look, he looks, do you know Peter Gabriel and In Your Eyes?
No,
We'll play
not specifically.
We'll play it for you later.
Please, I need the trivia knowledge.
The confusion is real. So,
All right.
but then there's other times I need silence, where silence is the best, and I'm like, gotta have original thought to myself. So there's times I travel in the car, and there's times I'm about to push that music button, and I hold back.
Yeah.
The whole audiobook thing is interesting to me, because I notice that people feel weird about saying, I've read 3 books. Well, I'll listen to them.
There's a difference between reading and listening. For
Really?
me, there is, especially because I'm more of a visual learner. So I know I'm not getting as much out of that audiobook as I am if I were reading it.
Wow.
And if I'm not driving, like when I listen to it on the airplane,
Yeah.
and the notes app open on my phone, and I'm
Oh, that's
taking
good.
like tons of notes.
And I feel like audiobooks tend to be more of like a passive thing, or you're like listening while you're doing something or while you're
Yeah.
going
Right,
somewhere.
you're multitasking for sure.
Yeah, so you're not as intently focused. And
Not for me. I nearly crash into people. I'm
Well, there you go.
totally
It's different
focused.
for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like that for all of us.
So what I'll do is I will hear something in audiobook, and if I really am super digging the book, like there's so much knowledge in it, I'll actually buy the paperback or buy the hard copy.
Yeah.
And I'll go find the passage and I'll underline it and do whatever. That's what I did with a book that I nearly crashed into the poor.
Smart.
You're like, I'm just
Unsuspecting.
going to start reading this while I'm driving instead.
There you go.
So,
I'll
okay,
probably
here's
do the same.
here's my segue.
Okay, seg it.
Some might feel like listening to the audiobook is the easy way to get through a book. So our question today is,
What is the easy way?
what is the easy way?
Well, I'm glad you tuned in, man. This is the place to be because we're going to give you some valuable information for you to find the easy way.
And if you could see his face,
If you could
You
only
would
see
know.
his face, you would know it
it's
was a
not
face.
going to be what you were hoping
for
it was
audio.
going to be. Right?
Okay.
I'll be the audiobook
So
narrator.
why even
over
talk
here.
about the easy way? Why is this such a thing?
Well, because you said this was our topic.
Oh, mercy.
Because I think we
So-
all want the easy way.
Yes, in our culture, the easy way is like there's this fantasy promised far off land that is called the easy way or the easy life.
Yeah.
And it's packaged and sold, let's face it. Mm-hmm. And here's the secret, spoiler alert, there is no easy way.
I'm out. I only came to find the easy way. If there's
There's
no
the
easy
hard way.
I'm out.
But there's also a bunch of layers to the hard way that when we fully embrace and engage it, it's not hard.
Right.
And it's like believe it or not, building muscle is the perfect analogy. And here's the other thing. I think in life, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, these truths keep coming up.
Yeah.
Like if I avoid physical strain, then my body adapts to that. If I avoid
Yeah.
emotional strain, if I avoid spiritual effort, mental effort, then my body will adapt to that and I will become flabby.
Yeah.
But if I actually start to push back at it, then I grow. I become stronger.
So should we actually say, because we say there's no easy way, but there is an easy way,
I don't know about that.
but you're going to shortchange yourself. You're not going to get the results that you want or hope for. And
Well,
you're going to miss
okay.
out on growing and a lot of learning opportunities.
So thank you for bringing that up because when we try to do the easy way, it actually becomes harder in a very different way.
True. Explain that, though.
Yeah. Oh, what's that?
Explain that.
Oh, sure. Okay. So truth be told, when I was a kid,
Okay.
I'm glad you're all listening. I hope you're all sitting down, not driving, because you might want to pull the car aside.
Here's your warning.
I guess
to
we're
the
going to have
road.
to write a disclaimer on our show now.
I did not finish high school. I ended up dropping out of high school. So I just lost all my clients.
You did.
So no, I ended up dropping out of high school
Okay.
because back then my tack was to avoid discomfort, avoid difficulty. And so I thought to myself, man, this is too hard. My thought was it would be easier just to go right to JC, right? And so, but I remember adults all the time telling me, look, there's the easy way and then there's the hard way. Like, which one do you want in life? Do you
Yeah.
want, and they're telling me the easy way was to go to school and do what everybody else should do, and that would be easier for me. But I didn't see that as easy. I thought that was hard.
Yeah.
I wasn't really a student. I'm sure I had ADD. I'm sure I still do. I didn't do math, which is odd because I did English and history front, back,
Yeah.
upwards and down.
Just not math.
Just not math.
That's okay.
Science was marginal.
Okay.
Anyway,
Science has
it's
math in
math that did it for me. And so, well, I mean, that's the story I create for myself. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted the quote unquote easy way. So what did I do? I didn't go to high school anymore. And so, boy, was it easy, especially, being denied jobs, being a high school dropout. And then I eventually took the GED, which the first time I avoided.
Okay. You
Until,
avoided taking it?
yeah, I know. Weird pattern. And for some reason, my then girlfriend Melanie did not run the other way. Oh my God. She'll even tell you, what was I thinking? Not me, her.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was so charming.
It was the charm.
Maybe, I don't know. But anyway.
And the full head of hair.
Oh, it was luxurious, let me tell you. So I avoided that too. And it eventually created for myself, of course, a hard way.
Yeah.
So essentially, if I would have like stuck it out, done well in school, all this other stuff, that's hard. And if I were to, decide to avoid, that's hard too.
Yeah.
So
They're
whether
both
you
hard.
decide to become CEO and work your way to the top, or you fall into being a homeless person pushing a cart, both are hard.
Yeah.
So essentially, there's no easy way. So this whole notion that we're going to sell people now, I will say that potentially the hard way that we have to go can get easier, but we have to build resilience. Is it resilience or resiliency?
Resilience, yeah.
There you go.
I think either way, probably.
I like that you didn't even look at me when you asked that.
I better look somewhere
You went
else.
straight to
I better look to
the
some
man,
other
Caleb.
source. Okay, so right. So there's the idea. There's the hard way and the hard way. So stop avoiding the hard way and do what is you're being called to do.
Right.
Because that can then reveal things about you, and it's not hard. It's not easy, of course. It's not supposed to be easy. God forbid it's easy, because if it's easy, we'll all be like the Doughboys. I wanted to
Stay
say
Puft Marshmallow Man? Is that what you're going for?
Maybe
Pillsbury Doughboy?
Pillsbury Doughboy. Stay Puft Doughboy.
The combination
We'll be a
of the
Stay
two.
Puft Doughboy or girl if we decide that no, I just want life to be easy. Now, so there's the.
So are you answering the question of what is the easy way with there is no easy way?
There you go.
Oh, we're done.
But don't tune out yet.
Everyone's like,
Because
"Here's the answer."
now here's the other thing. Obviously we avoid uncomfortable situations, feelings, whatever.
Yes.
And by doing so, we don't grow.
Right. And we actually make those uncomfortable situations and feelings harder to deal with.
Yes, because the more we hold off, oftentimes the more blown out or intense they can get. Mm-hmm. And so we think we're kicking the can down the road. We're not. We're just creating another hard thing for ourselves.
Yep.
And I have dealt with people and even family systems that are so exceptionally, and I'll say it, so exceptionally delusional in the way they hide things because of their avoidance, because they don't want to have things be hard, that it really does boggle the mind. I mean, these type of systems, there are families that deal with each other in, for lack of a better term, make-believe fashion. Like you're not actually a person, you're this person I want you to be in my mind.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's not really you that I'm willing to deal with, it's this person I'm imagining you to be. And so when you actually have a feeling or something that is beyond what I imagine and want you to be, that I run away from that. I avoid that. And so then there's no real connection.
Yeah.
Even though people make believe that there is a connection. Anyway, that sounds like a whole other topic. But anyway.
Well, I was just thinking kind of on that same lines as people that only want to focus on the positive. So I'm only going to talk about the positive. I'm only going to see the positive. And when there is negative, or when they'll maybe say something negative and they'll be like, oh gosh, but no, let's look at the positive.
Yeah. And they'll even, some will put a spiritual component to it. Like, hey man, don't be like, don't accept those lies from Satan. That is
hard.
Not all good.
But it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And sometimes accepting that it's difficult is embracing how we need to steel ourselves.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Because I hate to tell people, but God never said it was going to be easy. I mean, he said,
show me in the Bible.
He said quite the opposite. Right. I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation.
Right, but juxtapose that with my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm waiting.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, his yoke is easy and his burden is light, but it's what you use to walk you through the hard, to get you through the tribulation. it doesn't mean
So
that
you're
there's
saying
no
continue to
tribulation.
push.
Yes.
Aha.
But
Yeah,
it's a lot
I agree.
easier. So it's interesting. I was just having this conversation with the client because we were talking about that, the yoke and the oxen.
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying like, that literally like when two oxen are yoked together, one of them will take the lead.
Oh.
And so, and then the other one follows, and it's the other one following that makes that path easier. I mean, it's still work for the oxen.
Oh, gotcha.
But as they're going the same way. And so that is how it is when we are yoked with Christ. He has taken the lead.
Oh, there you
and
go.
as we follow him, we're still doing work,
Yes.
but it's a lot easier when we're following the road that Christ has for us.
And I think that, again, God bless America. I am a capitalist, but it's this capitalist notion that you can purchase or have an easy way and an easy life. And somehow that's going to be good for you. And so we idolize material comfort. We idolize no emotional or physical or mental strain. Right. And so we, again, go back to that idea of this, somehow there's this promised land where I get to relax on the couch all the time and eat whatever I want. And all that has consequences, man.
Yeah.
Right. And so,
I mean, you felt those consequences with all your pie.
like you wouldn't believe. Now it was fun while it lasted, but hey, and that was hard. It was hard eating all that pie. No, it created a hardship where,
Right.
okay, now I've got some baby fat to lose, allegedly.
Baby fat.
So oftentimes we will distract ourselves from these difficulties with
Yeah.
entertainment, relaxation, diversions of any kind, zoning out, time on the phone, YouTube.
Oh, how many people are feeling that right now?
But hey, wait a second. We also distract with work, extreme sports, constant go, achievement. In other words, stuff that comes easier to us is a blessing, but it also might be a curse, and it's distracting us from some of the harder stuff that we need to deal with.
Right. So this just popped into my head. So let's take a person. I'm going to say man or woman, mom or dad, husband or wife, who is a quote unquote workaholic. And they love working because they get stuff out of that.
Yes.
And so they use that as an excuse because maybe they suck at being a parent. And so
Hold on. Jeez.
it's hard.
So
Okay, I don't
ready
want to
to
say
cast
suck.
aspersions. Maybe they're struggling at being a parent.
Maybe they're
How's
struggling.
that?
Okay, fine. We'll use better verbiage. Maybe they're struggling at being a parent. It
So
doesn't
mean,
come
Caroline.
naturally. And so they're like, I can avoid doing that
Yeah.
by just working more because that I'm good at, that I see success, that I get something out of.
You're absolutely right. And another way to avoid is I'm going to impose upon you what I think you should be doing or what I think you're thinking and feeling because it's comfortable for me to work in those zones, yet I'm not going to sit and truly hear you out in maybe ways that you're struggling or you're confused or what you think is good hard work. I actually wrote an article, The Hard Way, and one of the examples I gave was, you have this like husband and wife who are getting on their son for zoning out in video games and distracting through video games, while all the while they're distracting with church activities. Like, and volunteering and all this other stuff, and they're calling it good, yet they're not connected to themselves as a couple, and they're not connected to their son.
Yeah.
And he feels this angst about, wait a second, to some degree, you're not really better than I am. You just go about it by different means, quote unquote, virtuous means that everybody applauds.
Yeah.
Yet you're not dealing with stuff.
I think in parenting, we forget that verse, take the log out of your own eye before you take the speck out of your brother.
Never heard of it.
It applies to parenting too. Right? Like, let's
Sure.
take the log out
Okay.
of our eye. That's actually one of mine and my husband's goals this year is to be taking the log out of our own eye before we're taking the speck out of our kids' eyes. Because it's very
Okay.
easy to see,
Or your spouse's eye?
or your spouse's eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's very easy to see your kids' flaws. And more than likely, it's your kids' flaws because they've learned it from you.
That is so true. There's a hard face, right? It's like, and here's the trick: to be able to look at what you are annoyed at them for, and really do some self-examining. Like, how do I do this? It may look different now. How do I do this in a different way? Like, I remember, I've told this story 1,000 times when I've asked my son to like get up out of bed, and he was in high school and he was dragging his feet, and he's like, I am. And I'm like, you're not. You're not walking around the room. You're still laying in bed. And it started to escalate because I wanted to go toe to toe. I wanted total obedience and I wanted control over him. Yet the irony of it, he wanted control over himself.
Yeah.
So the last thing he wanted is, even though I was his dad, is to have some guy like tell him what to do. And believe it or not, I would much rather he be someone who is not easily controlled by others.
Right.
It just hits me in the face when doesn't want to be controlled by me. But anyway.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's important also, there's a big, huge assumption when it comes to easy way and or a hard way, is that somehow easy is good and hard is bad.
Yeah. That is a huge assumption.
Yeah. And we label those when like, okay, so let's noodle this through. If easy is never having to effort, always relaxing, never having to work, what do you think the result of that is going to be? What do you think happens to kids who don't have to work, like as they grow up and they have zero chores and no responsibility? What do you think happens there?
They become CEOs of big companies and boss everyone around. They make everybody else do their work.
No, they have no resiliency. They become entitled, right?
Yeah.
They when any sort of hardship comes up, any wind that blows, and they're knocked over. Do you realize? I don't know. I have to fix this once I say it, but
you don't want to fix it before you say it.
No, you got to let it fly. Then you got to fix.
Okay.
So, a huge percentage of those who go through the Navy SEALs program. Huge percent, some 90% of them or whatever, don't quote me on that, have come from adverse child experiences. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying, hey, be abusive to your kids, so they can get through the Navy SEALs. Not everyone, of course, needs to be an elite soldier. That's not what we're talking about. But there is a correlation there between difficulty and resiliency.
Yeah.
Or resilience, or one of those. And they're, rest assured, with too much difficulty, that can collapse the system also. And then, of course, the disproportionate amount that soldiers suffer from PTSD is directly correlated to difficulties in opening up and sharing who they are and what they're experiencing. So,
yeah.
All that to say is there's benefits and drawbacks to everything we do. All that to say is that, again, the easy way does not help any of us, and we're in some sort of fantasy world if we're always looking for the easy way. That this begs for us to reflect, like, in what way am I expecting life to be easy?
Doesn't sound fun. I don't want to do that.
No, you got to do it.
That sounds hard. What's the easy way to do that?
I had a former student one time. He posted on, when people put all their stuff on Facebook and stuff, and it was a student that's a little older now, so they used to use Facebook, by the way.
Okay.
Now, I guess, anyway.
Yeah.
Different topic. He posts on it, it's like, I got a flat tire. Why you got to do me this way, Jesus?
Oh, gosh.
Like Jesus was like,
it's all his fault.
Or you could be like, oh, this is a fallen world we live in. I got a flat tire because things break down, and this is where I am right now. Okay, how do I get through it?
Yeah. Wow.
Don't call Caroline. She does not know how to change a tire.
I don't.
Neither do I, to be fair.
Oh.
Thank you.
But you guys can noodle it through. Come on.
Yeah, I had roadside assistance, and that's how I noodle it through.
You need to put yourself in the hard way.
I have to dial that number, wait on hold. That's going to create some patience.
Wait, oh my gosh, yeah. You mean your electric car cannot change itself?
I don't know. I haven't had a flat tire in it yet. It might be able
just
to.
Wait. Wait till you go out to the parking lot.
Oh, Christopher
I'll
Ona.
fix your wagon.
Well, it's a good thing you're here and you know how to change a tire. You can do it for me.
There you go. So part of this entails like being able to embrace and accept the hard way. So life is filled with uncomfortable stuff. Like, you know, the conversation with your coworker will be difficult,
Yeah.
or your co-host. Or the completing that assignment in school will not be fun.
No.
Going to the dentist will cause some anxiety.
If you go to the right dentist.
I know they gas you up. Then what's the problem?
They do, but if you have
Here's
a good
this little pill.
We have a good fun dentist, and even my kids are like excited when we get to go to the dentist.
Okay.
So I think it's all about having the right dentist.
Okay. If he's giving you candy, he's, you know, fighting the...
Well, it's job security.
There you go. There you go.
And here's a lollipop on your way out.
So these things will be difficult, but it's important to remember that also, like... this has to do with even being goal oriented and process oriented.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking toward a goal and you're saying I have to get there, then and people don't want to face like the rough road along the way. Part of process oriented is being able to say, you know what, I can accept that along the way there's going to be challenges that are going to better me. If you go at it with an attitude like, oh, life is hard, it stinks, and it's never going to be fun, then that's going to make it harder on you. Part of accepting the hard way is just being able to say, hey, bring it on. Let's see what challenge I can overcome here.
Yeah. Well, I'm also thinking like you can make the hard way a little easier by like dealing with some of those issues. If you have anxiety when you go to the dentist, like walk through of what is causing me anxiety. Why am I feeling this way? Is there something I can do
not
to
avoid the
ease that?
feeling. You're right.
Right. So I think, you know, that hard conversation with the coworker. Okay, let me, you know, check my issue in this. Let me grow and learn now. Why am I having a difficult time going and talking? I mean, there's just, right? Ask yourself the questions, walk through it to help to ease your mind, to make the hard thing. I don't want to say easier to do, but make the hard thing more doable.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Also, I would say be careful that because we're all individuals, right? So don't see like we tend to take things that are easier for us,
Yeah.
and then we look at others and say, well, why isn't it easy for you? And we use that as a sort of self-righteousness to be able to say, see, I'm doing the hard way, you're not. Well, maybe you haven't found your hard way.
Right.
Because
everyone's is different.
It's interesting how many, and I've said this before, how many firemen who will be willing to run into a burning building with the cool mustache, but they will not face their feelings.
Yeah.
It's like, and yet their wives want to face feelings, and yet they have contempt for their wives for being emotional.
Yeah.
This is total generalization, of course. But
I'd rather face my feelings than run into a burning building.
I know, right? That's why we need each other.
Yeah. So
I'd rather face my feelings
different.
and run into a burning building with my motorcycle.
I'll face my feelings while running to the burning building, so I really don't have to deal with them.
With my finger pointed up. Yeah. Of course, that's my throttle hand, so I may have a difficulty. Okay. Let's see. As I look through the stuff.
Okay.
In a way, the other part of this is part of our existence is experiential. So trying to warn people like, oh, you should do it this way or you should do it that way. There's a little help to that.
Yeah.
But there's also an element to which they need to experience it. And so when it comes to our children, sure, we can tell our children, hey, do this, not that. Here's the better way. Here's the way but they need to experience it in order to build their own resilience.
Right. Because that's what we did as children.
I hope.
Right. Kids don't listen to their parents for the most part.
You told me you were spoiled.
They learn. I was, but I still had to learn. I still had to learn things the hard way. I mean, I think maybe that's why they say that. That is where we learn, is doing it the hard way. And we tell our kids that all the time, right? Like, do it this way, and they want to go and do that. Well, that's fine if you want to learn the hard way. I was trying to teach you the easy way, but I'm
telling you, there's no
and stuff in that. I know there is no easy, but this is what we say to our kids,
right? Yes.
But then credit cards are like the perfect thing.
Oh my gosh!
Right? You tell college age kids, don't get credit cards, don't
No.
even get one. No, and then they think, oh no, I got this, I got it handled.
Well, they think,
and then they're in $40,000 of credit card debt.
I'm different.
Right.
It's not going to happen. I'm a little different.
Right.
You know.
And you are
Thanks,
different. Yeah.
by the way, but
I mean, there's a proper way to do credit cards and build your credit, but I think everyone ends up learning the hard way. Maybe not everyone, but most people. But that it is true. Like,
except for Clay Hobbs, man. Clay Hobbs was born at 35. Apparently, he was this a friend's son who was born at 35 years old, much like our Caleb.
Our Caleb.
And he has bought his house, and he is what? He is my kid's age. That means he is in his 20s.
Yeah.
Never been into debt, saved up. It's like saved up every dime.
Well, we all need to be like that.
Here's the problem. His hard way is maybe, again, I know the kid, he's a great kid, but maybe his hard way is actually enjoying things. Allowing himself to go spend money on a trip or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, because you don't know what he's dealing with on the inside
Yes.
that has made him feel like he needs to do that.
Yeah. There's no escaping
Right.
this difficult way.
Right. We all have hard in our lives.
Right.
And it looks different, and we can't judge anybody else for how theirs looks and how they're doing theirs.
Although it can be fun.
Can it
Just
though?
kidding. No,
Yeah,
it's for a
I'm
moment
like,
until we catch ourselves in there.
That judgment thing is not fun. No, not at all. All right, what else do you have? I see you scrolling through your notes, so I don't want to cut you off, but I'll give you 5 more minutes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Don't give him that much.
Oh, don't give. Okay, you have 2.3 minutes.
So, like few other things in our life, the hard way can transform us into greater growth.
Yes.
Right? By accepting it. Even like, and these are challenges that we have: emotional, spiritual, mental, physical.
Yep.
Like, for example, when I ride my mountain bike, I like to challenge myself in certain, I want to say tricks, but I don't mean tricks because I'm not like doing tricks.
You're not doing flips and.
Oh yeah, tabletops and over the no. But it like the example I always use is like going down the stairs in my mountain bike. Like it was scary for me.
Yeah.
But just because it's scary doesn't mean to not do it.
This is true.
So I did it, and it was awesome. And besides, part of the awesome is proportionate to the scary. So as scary as it is, and then you overcome it, that's as awesome as it is.
But will you do it again?
Heck yeah.
Okay.
I've done it several times
Okay,
now that
well,
I
there you
broke
go.
the seal. Of course, I'm hoping not to break anything else.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Well, like I went skydiving. I did it once. I don't feel the need to do it again.
Oh,
But
good for you.
But I did it once,
I would probably,
and it was amazing. And I think everyone should do it one time in their life.
man.
But now I'm like, I defied the odds once. Let's not try it again.
What are the odds? Like
I
one.
don't know. Well, I did it in Lodi, and the odds
Oh,
aren't very
jeez.
good.
Good gravy. Oh, no. You hear about changing topics. Yeah. So the hardship we are in the middle of could be telling us something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The hard way we are in is trying to tell us a few things. It may be, but not always telling us to go in a different direction. Mm-hmm. But I know that when I was working full time and went to school full time, and I do have a college degree and a master's. So please, if you're scared that I dropped out of high school, I tried to make up for it. But that was not easy, and there are many times that, it seemed like I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
But that's another topic for another time about what keeps us going. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it could be telling us something. It could be telling us we need to, not that we have to die, but part of us has to die. Mm-hmm. Right?
Die to self.
So die to self. Yeah. Or like, okay, this leisure part of me needs to be winnowed back a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a place for leisure, but often it's after the workday, not I'm starting the day off and the week off and the month off by avoiding and doing things that I don't have to work very hard. Definitely strengthening us toward greater resilience. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, the hard way wants us to grow, to experience the struggle and embrace it so we can come out stronger in the end.
I always usually when I'm talking to clients for the first time, I always I kind of give them a little of my backstory. But the reason I do what I do as a biblical counselor and a life coach is because of the hard stuff I went through.
Wow.
And if I had not gone through that stuff and allowed it to change me and grow me and shape me into who I am today, I wouldn't be sitting here doing this podcast and I wouldn't be sitting with clients.
Awesome.
So to me, that has made it worth it. As hard as the hard gets sometimes, there is growth and things that come out of it.
Definitely. And oftentimes when we're in the hard stuff, when we're in the hard way, it seems like it's never going to end.
It sucks.
Well, there's three, they say the 3 Ps, right? It's personal. In other words, it's just us. Like God is burning us with a magnifying glass, right? So something, we're flawed, we're screwed up. And so that's why the hardship is happening to us. It's personal, it's pervasive. In other words, it's everywhere we look. Everything's hard. That's hard. This is hard. Oh, it's never going to leave me. And it's permanent. In other words, it's never going to end. It's not going away. And let me just tell you, all 3 of those Ps are not true.
Right.
Hardship happens because we live in a fallen world. But take what's the, I went blank. Take heart. That's what I mean. Thanks, Caroline. Take heart because Christ has overcome the world, right?
Yeah.
And we can actually apply meaning to the hardship that we're in and say, you know what, God, right now, I'm losing this, but you have it. So I'm going to take another step and I'm going to let this hardship sanctify me to a place that you want me to be. And that's when I'm going to experience the joy that you have for me. It's true.
Mic drop. That's a good spot to end.
Okay.
Am I allowed?
Well,
I didn't want to cut you off.
You said it now. You've said it now.
You said what?
Did you ask Caleb any closing thoughts?
Caleb, do you have any closing thoughts today?
Oh dear. Oh, this has just been really good. I feel like someone who, looking back a few years, that was very much the place I was in of dealing with a lot of hard stuff and just kind of numbing it out with, screens and food and whatever kind of comfort I could find was definitely my driving force. And so all of that just built up without me ever dealing with it until it was too much. And I'm like, no, I need to address this. And
awesome.
So yeah, I love what you guys have shared.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Awesome.
So I got nothing to add. It's good.
Okay.
Caleb's our hype man over there. Love him. Our Caleb.
Yeah, that's right. He's got
you are now ours.
Cheerleading outfit on.
Awesome.
So our encouragement to all you out there is today embrace the hard way.
Embrace the hard way.
And see how how the Lord can use it to transform you.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us today as we continue our journey talking about life's many questions.
To stay connected with us, you can follow us at Downey Park Counseling on both Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow Caroline on Instagram at Relatable Caroline. And make sure you tune in next week for our next question.